Susan and David Plower from County Galway are with me here on the show today. Susan, you've been receiving vile letters. Can you bring us back and tell us what happened, Susan?
Yeah, I suppose we got the very first letter back in January 2020. It was addressed to our eldest son, who was he wasn't even 18 at the time. He was just on his Leaving Cert. And the letter was addressed to the parents of Calum, and it was coming from supposedly a concerned parent. And the letter went on to say that Calum was involved with drugs and that they were surprised in light of the recent event. And unfortunately, they lost a friend, a very good friend, at their Debs. She passed away. And this letter came to us, and it was a massive shock. I'll never forget it, because it was my youngest son that took the envelope out of the post box, and it was handwritten, and generally you don't get handwritten letters anymore.
No.
And it was, I'll never forget it, because Killian said to me, "Mom, you're gone pale. Are you okay?" And sure, straight away I came in and I was going, oh my God. And when you have kids, you can never say never. You don't know, you'd like to think, God, they won't go near drugs, but you just don't know. I pulled the house asunder and I rang my husband just saying, "Dave, there's something going on. I don't know what to do. What do we do?" Our son was working, and Dave went in to pick up Calum, and it kind of went on from there. Obviously, there was no truth in it. We reported it to the guards, and they just said, "Look, it might be just a once-off. Just hold off and see." And it progressed from there.
It wasn't the case. It wasn't the once-off that you hoped for. And this was
no, absolutely not. Yeah,
handwritten letter sent to the home house, Susan.
Yes, yeah, and it was addressed to the concerned parents. To the parents of Calum. Yeah,
and this
coming from a concerned
other
parent.
Concerned parents, supposedly, as well. So what happened then?
Well, nothing really as such. We called in the guard. We had spoken to the guards, and they were great. They just said, "Look, hold off. It might be just a once-off. It might be, And we did. We didn't do anything about it. And then I think maybe a couple of weeks passed, and then another letter came. I can't even remember what that letter was about, but we brought it to the guards' attention, and then the guards kind of took over from then, because the whole letter thing kind of exploded. Like, to date, it's going on. We're into our 5th year now. We've had posts. Really, not a month goes by. We might have the odd 6 weeks where there won't be something, but then it's been fun.
So for over 4 years, nearly every month.
Yes, there's posts, and not just to us. Our workplaces have been targeted. My husband works for one of the retailers here in Loughrea, and he's a manager there. And his many letters have gone to head office and to his own where he works here. They've gone to my workplace. They've gone to friends. They've gone to family members, and the guards even reckon that they've gone to people who haven't come forward. It's bizarre. It's crazy.
Your husband David, Susan, is with us here on the line as well, and David, thank you for taking the call.
Thank you.
Can you give us can you describe the contents of some of these letters beyond the very first one?
The letters. The content is very disturbing. Some of the material, bordering on, I suppose, the outrageous, really, I suppose you could say. But also very, very accurate accounts as well of our whereabouts at particular times. They've made slanderous comments about myself and extramarital affairs, etc. Baseless comments about my work, and they continuously comment on where we are at any given time. I remember on one occasion Susan phoned me and the letter had come to her work, and she said, "Do you remember my appointment last week in the hospital?" I said, "I do." Well, they had an accurate account, time and date, when she was there.
Oh, God.
Now, this is, I suppose you could call it terrorism. That's one way. We're pretty resilient people, and we've tried as much not to let it affect us, but obviously it has taken its toll. Now we've tremendous support from our family, and we've also tremendous support from the public. We got in contact last year with Stephen Breen, the journalist, and he's been really, really helpful. And in all his experience, and he's a wide experience, and dealing with different.
Stephen's the crime editor in the Sun, isn't he? Yeah. I know him,
He's never come across this.
Yeah.
And we were very, very reluctant to take these steps, but we need to. It wasn't a sympathy vote. Quite contrary, actually, it was more to highlight an awareness, because we do believe vulnerable people, apart from ourselves, unconnected with us, have received mail, but they weren't willing to come forward. So, I mean, heightening the awareness. This could be beyond local. It could be elsewhere. We've no idea.
And these are by my counting here, it must be nearly over about 400 letters, David, at this stage, is it?
And that would be just the letters that we would have received directly or indirectly, and the rest of my family have received dozens as well.
And are they about you? The content that goes to your wider family, is that is it just something then about those people, or is it directed at you and Susan and the kids?
It's directed at all our family, and it seems to be born out of jealousy. There are accurate comments on family occasions. We're a very close-knit family. So if we had an event, a birthday or a celebration, anything significant, it's mentioned in a letter that it was, I saw your photos on whatever, Instagram or Facebook, they would remark on that. Any particular thing that they think would possibly irritate us. It's quite easy, I believe, the nasty stuff that people say. It's not always easy to believe the compliments. So you can imagine reading these things. It does affect you, but we've ignored them for the last while now. We don't bother reading them. There's nothing to be gained out of it, I think.
Is the writing on the front of the envelope, if it's obviously so, are they all, Susan? They're all usually sent by post, are they? Either to your workplace or David's workplace, or to the home house.
Yeah, they are, and they're not all handwritten. There's been typed letters. There's been handwritten letters. There's been letters put in to make it look like it's coming from, we'll say, an electrical company, like an electricity bill or that kind of thing, yeah. And at the moment, nearly all our post goes to the Garda station. We have a great postman here, and so he's aware of the situation. So he filters, and anything he feels is dodgy, it goes directly to the Garda station.
So the guards are involved. They're obviously well aware. Yeah.
They've actually written to the guards as well. Letters have gone to the guards. There's no
about you guys.
About us. They seem to have no fear, and like the general taunt in nearly every letter is "catch us if you can." We won't be caught.
That's how it's signed off, is it? Catch us if you can.
Yeah, a lot of it. Yeah, with a lot of expletives added into it. Yeah. And like there's no there doesn't seem to be anything that Dave's father passed away this time last year, and what they didn't say, they wrote to every family member after the funeral. They slated the funeral. What they didn't say. The same, my boss passed away in January. They wrote to my boss's mother, who is an elderly lady, and all the post comes to the office, thankfully. And my boss's daughter, who now has the business, thankfully she got the letter. It was horrendous.
It seems to be nearly anybody connected with you, Susan.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And now, thankfully, we are resilient, but it has taken its toll.
Sure, how would it not?
Yeah, 4 years is a lot. And for our kids not to be able to open their own post, it's not good. It's not nice.
Do you so? Some of the commentary, as you say, would be things that David. Even if you didn't know you, or maybe you didn't live in the same area or in and around Loch Ray, or know you guys from work. Some information you might get from maybe following people on social media, as you say, if you were out or there was a family event or a party or something, and somebody might see pictures that you posted. But But by all accounts, from Susan, the mention of you at a hospital appointment, I assume is something you couldn't know that from social media.
No, it's bizarre because, there's times where you'd be incredibly paranoid. Like even going to do the grocery shop and you'd be kind of looking over your shoulder going, jeepers, is there somebody? Or it's crazy. Like, I mean, it's gone back. The information that's been in some of these letters, it's obviously somebody that knows us pretty well. Because there's been information in the letters like pre to where we live now, and like we're almost 20 years living where we're living. And it can mention, it has mentioned my brothers, their lives, Dave's whole family. Like, it's crazy. It really is crazy.
You're actually being watched then, David, to a certain extent.
Yeah, sure, on several occasions they've give accurate accounts of my whereabouts, taking photographs of the number plates of their cars, said you made reference to passing by the house and saw me out polishing my car or cutting the grass. So obviously this person is intent on terrorising us, and with the content of the letters and the way they're signed off, they're openly taunting us, zero intention of ceasing this barrage, and they think it's some kind of a game, or maybe they've been watching too much Netflix or something.
It actually sounds like the plot of a movie nearly, David, doesn't it? And you're living the horror of it.
Well, people say, I don't know how you're going through it, but unfortunately, when you're faced with something, you have to fight through it. It's our experience, but look, we're a good family. We've got good support around us, and we're private. We're very private people, Susan and I. We don't socialise that much. If we go out, we go out together. So we generally keep to ourselves. We have a close knit relationship with our friends. And we're not people that we're not famous. We don't warrant anything.
I was going to say, from talking to you both here today, you sound like just two very normal people, Susan. That.
Well, humble people.
Yeah, we don't we don't live in a fancy house. We don't have fancy cars. We both work full time. So it's crazy.
But you've been targeted in for whatever reason. You've gone to the guards. They're obviously for years. They're looking into this. Has it thrown up anything? Like where's the investigation?
No, they're doing their investigations, and there is, I suppose, bemused as we are, and perplexed, or whatever adjective you wish to use. They haven't been able to find anything yet, but it's very difficult to actually see somebody posting a letter, because you can post a letter anywhere. Everything goes to the sorting office. Once upon a time you would go to the post office, your stamp from the post office, so it'd be tagged to that particular post office. But now it just seems everything goes to Athlone, and it's sorted there.
Maybe I'm, from watching TV shows, but is there no way from the postmark or codes and stamps, or is there no way they've been able to identify?
I think the guards have explored a lot of avenues, and not exactly sure in relation to the legalities or the aspects involved in that, but certainly I take a point, yes. So maybe there is some way of actually, figuring out, okay, it was posted in this post office, or this stamp is associated with that post office. I don't know, but it's certainly something to consider.
Am I right in saying, David, there was one particular letter that was quite sinister, and in relation to your family bereavement last year?
It was reading that now was traumatic in relation to my father passed away. There's 5 boys in the family, and my mum thankfully is great at the moment.
Good.
So at our father's funeral, the letter came, said that they attended the funeral. They said they even attended the wake, and they made remarks of my father being laid out in the sitting room of his house, and remarks of, there was a wet stain on the ceiling. It's an oldish enough house, but I don't know. I mean, it's it's easy to say that because a lot of people came in and came out of the house. But certainly friends that were at that funeral, they wouldn't be sending letters like this. So
No.
I wouldn't deem them to be anything of the sort.
But you would to have known about, as you said, the damp in the room and the ceiling. You'd have had to have been in the house to know that.
Well, yes, I suppose. Yeah,
in all likelihood, but unless somebody
they have a lot of information, and obviously with social media, it's pretty limitless what people can access now. There doesn't seem to be any privacy in anyone's lives now. It seems to be open season for everybody.
You must be living in fear, Susan, to a certain extent. You know what, the length of time this has gone on and the personal details and the information you could only know, if you were passing your house or watching you going to an appointment.
It's part of our life now, and it's terrible because it shouldn't be. Like it's sort of the norm for us, or it's nearly abnormal now. Like every morning, Dave will text me, "Is there post at work or is there post?" So it's part of our lives for the past. And if we get phone calls, let's say if I get a phone call in the middle of the day from one of my friends that I mightn't have heard, straight away it's like, did you get a letter? Did you get post? So it never kind of leaves your mind. Now, the only thing is here, we've kind of compartmentalised it as such. If we're going to talk about it, Dave and I will go for a walk and we'll spend 10 minutes and that's it. We're not spending any more time because we're not giving it any more energy. Yeah, because you have to have some kind of normality, but it's not easy because it's an everyday. It's there all the time,
and it's the level of very intimate detail and information that I think would
absolutely
freak anybody out. Thinking
absolutely.
that somebody
and pictures, like they've sent pictures, pornographic images of not us, but they've superimposed our faces onto images, and like these images have gone to elderly people. They went to Dave's parents not last summer, the summer previous. I mean, it's really, really very sick.
They don't seem to have any remorse.
There's no remorse.
Beyond any recompense. I mean, when they deem it appropriate to send letters to elderly people and minors, both our lads were minors now. Thankfully, we've protected them from it. They've never been exposed to the content, nor they ever will be, or nor will they ever be. And when they go to the post, I recall one day our youngest Killian, he rang Susan and he said, "Mom, there's a letter here for me. I don't think I'll open it." And as a parent, trying to protect your kids when that's there, I mean, even birthday cards sent to them, Christmas cards, disguised as birthday cards or Christmas cards and letters in them. It's normal now when we pull up out the driveway, have the postman been here, put your hand in the post box, and you're hoping to get a bill or a letter of some sort that's not hate mail.
But in fairness, we've been lucky because our postman is excellent. He'll ring or he'll take a picture of anything that he thinks is dodge, and he'll WhatsApp it to us. Yeah. And it's terrible. Our postman has read our post. We'd say, "Open the letter, Noel, and see." And he'll open and say, "Oh yeah, this is going." Yeah, So it's just it's.
But God, beyond and you're so lucky, Susan, that you have such good support and friends and family around you. But I'm just thinking as you're talking about this today, and particularly around the funeral and the wake and that. Like, I mean, you must nearly start to doubt everybody around you. To a certain extent, you must.
It's crazy. When this all started initially, a lot of the content of the letters were basically saying that Dave was having an affair, and it made me doubt, really and truly made me doubt. And I was going, God, maybe he is, and maybe I'm stupid and I've missed it. And that's exactly what the intention is to put doubt there and clearly destroy it. For whatever reason, I have no idea.
And it's moved beyond. I mean, look, none of this, is to any way to take away from the seriousness of it at all, Susan. But I suppose initially when the first message came about your son, it probably crossed your mind that it could have been, a child or a teenager. But it has moved so far beyond that, and how sinister it is, and the consistency of this over a.
Yeah, well, it's gone beyond Sinister is the correct word. I mean, when we look at when the letters are read out on occasion, it just appears that the messages throughout the content gets more vicious and vile as the letter continues. So it's clearly somebody that's writing, and as they're writing or typing or whatever way they deem it, it's clear that the message that they're trying to portray is getting angrier and angrier and angrier by the end of the letter. So it starts off kind of mild. Sorry, Susan.
No, I was just going to say it really seems to have driven them insane, because we put up 3 Facebook posts altogether, and just, you know, putting it out there that just to keep, you know, for people to keep an eye. And if this, reluctantly, we were asked to do it, and we've got such support from people in the town and friends, and unfortunately some friends that have made comments on the back of the Facebook post have actually received posts. So, you know, and basically telling us to take down the Facebook post. I mean, you know, it doesn't make sense.
It's absolutely desperate. Like it's horrendous, and I really, really feel for you both, because over a 5-year period, I mean, it's just disgusting. Like the kind of commentary and the vile messages that you're getting. I see some of the listeners that are getting in touch with us here. You know, Liam has made the point. He says, An Post can identify the person who buys the stamps. They're sold under CCTV. Stamps are traceable. I see another message for Pat. He works for An Post, and he says they have their own dedicated investigation team. I'm wondering if they can get involved. Like, look, sure, I presume you've the guards. You've looked into that.
I mean, the reason, I suppose, to highlight this, was enough is enough, but heighten the awareness, and I suppose somebody out there knows somebody's doing this, and so if the person is on their own, you know, there has to be somebody has witnessed something somewhere. But if there's help out there for us,
we'll take any help if anyone can help. Yeah.
I see a message here saying make a public announcement that from now on, you know, the letters won't be open. You're not going to open them. You're going to
we actually don't open them, is the thing.
Anymore,
no, but see, when they go to our workplace, and because I work in the legal business, so all posts, and the post isn't addressed to me. Generally, it's addressed to somebody, be anyone. So it has to be open. Yeah, and when it goes to Dave's work, it has to be open because it's not addressed to him.
I'm just thinking, David and Susan, that there is the possibility that as I'm talking to you here now on Lunchtime Live today, that whoever has been sending you these 400 odd letters for nearly 5 years is listening to us chatting right now here on Newstalk.
Absolutely, and I can just picture the paper this morning when we opened and see both of us sitting at the table. I can imagine the person looking at that, or the people looking at whoever's responsible, you know, looking at it. Oh my God, look at those pair of, you know.
We'd love to meet them and find out exactly why, and like why, you know.
What would you say to them, Susan? Like if they're listening to you and David here now on Newstalk, what do you want to say to the person who's been terrorising you with vile letters for 5 years?
Why? You know, why? What is the fixation? I mean, you know, what have we done? Have we done something to upset somebody?
Susan,
you know,
to come there, I mean, regarding why, it really doesn't matter. I mean, they can stop or they may not stop. I mean, we can't begin to wonder why somebody decides that they're going to write a letter to us, or what thought is behind it. They've actually gone to the bother of writing letters, openly taunting us. You know they're doing wrong. You know, catch it if you can. So the reason why, it's probably insignificant, really.
It's just stop, isn't it? It's stop.
Stop and get the help that you need.
And if you're listening to this today, you can hear very clearly the upset that has been caused, and the annoyance for you, Susan, and David, and for the whole family and your wider family and your circle of friends as well, and your colleagues. It's absolutely desperate what you've gone through. But look,
we've no reason for retribution or anything like that. It's just get the help you need. Stop posting letters and just. Or else start posting to your own family and see how they react.
I hope there's some some halt to it for you both, because it is absolutely horrendous what you've gone through. And I know the guards are investigating it, that it throws up something for you both, and it will hopefully end soon. Listen, Susan and David, I want to thank you both though for joining us today in the show, because it's not an easy thing to do, and I know speaking out today was the last thing really you wanted to do, but you're doing so because you're at your wit's end, and I do appreciate your time here on the programme. I mean, that is an absolutely incredible situation